Na ir matydamas tokią gausią publiką, ypatingai džiaugiuosi, kad architektūra ir paveldas Kaune sulaukia išskirtinio dėmesio ne tik paveldosaugos specialistų, bet ir platesnės publikos tarpe. Ir man tai, ir manau, kad visiems mums tai yra didelė šventė ir geras ženklas Kaunui. Na, o kadangi konferencijos darbų kalba yra anglų, tai toliau aš kalbėsiu angliškai, bet jūs be abejo turit ausines, tai galėsite sekti visą procesą. So, dear honorable guests, speakers, and all participants of International Conference Modernism for the Future. Good morning for all of you, and let me open the conference with warm greetings on behalf of Kaunas European Capital of Culture 2022. And as historian of architecture and one of the curators of Kaunas 2022, I'm very happy that architecture and heritage became an important part of cultural life in Kaunas. And the conference is primarily one of the main events of European Year of Cultural Heritage. You can see the logo in Lithuania, and with the financial and moral support of Lithuanian Ministry of Culture and Kaunas municipality, we organize this event aiming to discuss architectural legacy of modernism as an assemblage of unique cultural references with rich diversity of building types, technological solutions, and aesthetical strategies, which is far away from being just a collection of white masterpieces. As a coming capital of culture, we also invite to discuss heritage in a broader cultural context. For us, it's crucially important to understand architecture and heritage as an active part of contemporary cultural and social life. We see the legacy of the 20th century as a potential laboratory of heritage where the creative interpretations and new narratives of today are equally important as authentic relics of the past. So I hope that these and other topics suggested by our honorable speakers will be an inspiration to think over about possible future strategies of modernism. And of course, we appreciate you taking time off your busy schedules to join us with this event. And let me wish you an intellectual atmosphere and of course a pleasant stay in Kaunas for those who came from different places in Lithuania and Europe. And of course, our event wouldn't be possible without the generous support of relevant people, institutions, and organizations. And one of our financial and moral pillars is Kaunas municipality, which rose up an ambition to take care of Kaunas interwar period architecture as an important part of city identity in contemporary Kaunas. Therefore, I would like to invite Kaunas Vice Mayor Simonas Kairys, who is one of the biggest enthusiasts of architectural heritage, to start the conference with an opening speech. So, Simonas, welcome.
Dear all guests, all participants, speakers, organizers, it's a great pleasure to welcome you here. Firstly, in Lithuania, when we celebrated 100th year of our statehood. It's my pleasure to welcome you in Kaunas. Next year, Kaunas will celebrate 100th year of being a temporary capital Lithuania. And that was the point when our golden age started. Kaunas development started from the confluence of two biggest rivers where our castle is located. Then this point changed the direction and came to our Freedom Avenue, Now we are in Nemunas Island, and it's our 21st century city's development direction point. So you are in the very right place to discuss about heritage and the future. For the politicians, it's very interesting time in our city, because in the one hand we have our interwar modernistic architecture, all the activities surrounding of this moment. In another, we have quite fast development of the city. So to deal with this both hands is very interesting. I'm also glad that this format, this forum, this conference is a part of European Capital of Culture project, and I'm very happy that our program not starting and finishing only in 2022. Our program started last year, and step by step are going to our target, to our goals, and I think this whole period will be very interesting. Modernistic architecture is very important for Kaunas. All the content hiding in the city is very crucial for the city's success. More precisely, you discover the content, more success you can expect. And just a few examples. In 2015, we got European Heritage label for our interwar modernistic architecture. Now we are on the way, and we are official candidates to UNESCO World Heritage List. 2022, it will be the year of Kaunas European Capital of Culture. First time we were mentioned from tourism experts as a tourism location. For Kaunas, it was a problem a few years past. If you look to our international airport and all the directions, all the connections that Kaunas have, number of flights also increased. These things are very good example how we find very exactly our content and can we use it in nowadays issues. And the main idea came also from this interwar modernism period, starting from the story of the city, not the history, story is a better word, finishing with architecture and all other ideas. A lot of work are waiting for us to achieve our international goals. You can see a lot of reconstructions in a city center. I am very glad that we also have few very successful programs, and we can help for the private owners also to make a renovation of the heritage buildings. So I wish you a very fruitful discussion about all the challenges for the contemporary cities and the place of modernism in it. Wish you good luck, nice discussions, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you. And this is not a secret that Kaunas architectural legacy of interwar period is on the tentative list of the state parties of the UNESCO World Heritage Convention. The nomination dossier is being prepared from this year in Lithuanian National Coalition for UNESCO, and naturally in Kaunas, and naturally Lithuanian National Commission for UNESCO is one of the closest partners of Kaunas in different projects and activities. And this conference is not an exception. So I would like to ask Mrs. Asta Junevičienė, the Secretary General of Lithuanian National Commission for UNESCO, to share with us a few words about the conference as a part of the process to prepare Kaunas Modernism Architecture nomination following the requirements of the World Heritage Convention. Asta, welcome.
Labas rytas visiems. Gerbiamas Arūnai Seimo nariai, bet kaunietį visų pirma, gerbiamas vicemerė. Good morning everybody. I'm also from Kaunas, so it's nice to come home, in a way. Of course, it's a great honor and a big pleasure to welcome you all at the conference dedicated to the modernism. Modernism of the interwar period and modernism for the future. As you know, as it was mentioned by Vaidas already, step by step, Kaunas modernism architecture is looking for its place in the World Heritage List. It is not an easy task, and we all involved into this process actually do not want this process to be an easy one. We sincerely believe that all stakeholders, the Ministry of Culture, the Kaunas municipality, the academic society, and mostly Kaunas citizens, we all wish both Kaunas modernism to receive its recognition on the worldwide level, and as well we want the modernism to continue being the identity of this city, our lifestyle, our encouragement and our optimism. And of course we are not alone. It is a great pleasure to see representatives of other cities or people who worked with modernism and professionals dedicated to modernism of Tallinn, Prague, Riga, from Polish cities, from Tel Aviv, Asmara, London, and other magnificent places. We all have a lot of topics to share, and we here in Kaunas have many lessons to learn, and hopefully one day, maybe soon, maybe later, but soon, Kaunas will be recognized as a truly modernist city with a functional management system and a respected site manager with a scientific committee behind it, behind the shoulders of this site manager, with a dedicated municipality and Kaunas citizens enjoying being listed on the World Heritage List. And taking this opportunity as one of the organizers, I would like to thank you all for coming to this conference, and also I would like to extend my gratitude to the organizing and scientific committees, our partners, and wishing all of us best success in this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, cultural heritage protection as a process is inseparable from strategic decisions and cultural atmosphere within society. And personally, I have a feeling that the issue of modern heritage is being more and more appreciated for the last few years within the cultural heritage sector, or maybe even wider. And especially after 2015, when Kaunas became a European Heritage Label site. So let's ask for a comment from Mrs. Evelina Karalevičienė, the head of Lithuanian National Commission for Cultural Heritage. And just to remind for those who don't know that the Commission is an advisor of the Parliament of the Republic of Lithuania, President of the Republic of Lithuania, and the government of the Republic of Lithuania regarding the national policy of cultural heritage protection, its implementation, evaluation, and improvement. So, Evelina, welcome.
Labas rytas visiems. Good morning. I'm from Kaunas as well, so I have been so many times to this place at the concerts. And now for the first time I'm standing on the stage, and I feel so excited on behalf of National Commission to welcome you to the conference Modernism for the Future. With some of you, we already started to talk about modernism yesterday at the forum. Both events, forum and this conference, are organized to celebrate a very special year, a year of European cultural heritage. And you know, I think that we can consider cultural heritage as one very special language for all of us. A common language because it helps to know the past, the history, and it helps to better understand different stories. So I wish you today to have a very wonderful time speaking in one language, cultural heritage language, paying exceptional attention to modernism, and of course trying to find the answers we all came here for. Thank you and good luck.
And finally, I would like to invite Arūnas Gelūnas, artist, philosopher, politician, a member of Lithuanian Parliament, Seimas, former Lithuanian ambassador for UNESCO, and without a doubt, one of the greatest advocates of Kaunas architecture and culture. And perhaps I will not be mistaken in saying that it was Arūnas Gelūnas who began to spread the idea publicly about possibility to include Kaunas interwar architecture in the UNESCO World Heritage List. So the opening of the conference would be incomplete without sensitive observations of Arūnas Gelūnas. Arūnai, welcome.
Thank you very much, Vaidas, for such a kind introduction. I think expectations are very high for sensitive observations. When I come to scientific conferences, I always hate introductory speeches, so I promise to be very short. And escaping the parliament for such a conference and seeing so many of you, I expected much less. It's really like buying an ice cream and going to the pictures. So it's really more participating and enjoying than representing. Working in France and in UNESCO, I learned that all the speeches have to be in 3 parts. Introduction, 3 arguments, and the closing part. So introduction was already there, and my 3 arguments for why modernism and why Kaunas is so important would be in the following way. I think today we lack modernist utopianism more than ever. I think in 2018, when the prospects for future look rather gloomy, I'm not only talking about Brexit or Ukraine or economical crisis still felt in many places of the world. But in a way, we are not so sure about what's going to happen tomorrow. So I think talking about modernism and remembering those stories, modernist utopias like Bauhaus, the Stil, functionalism, the generations of people who really were convinced that progress is possible and something we can do for the future generations is very important. Second argument would be why Kaunas. I think Kaunas is rediscovering its identity more and more. It lacked one like 20 years ago. And now having these stories about modernist buildings and people working together, not just Lithuanians, but also Russians running from the Bolshevik Revolution. Also a Jewish population of Kaunas that was over 30% in 20s and 30s. Also international experts coming from France, coming from Germany, coming from Switzerland, and making blueprints, making projects together. This is a very inspiring narrative for my hometown. So Kaunas is more and more establishing itself as a modernist city, and I think this wonderful project of contemporary capital is deeply inspired by it. And third is I like reading books. I hope you are really passionate readers too. So this modernist narrative has produced very good books already. I'm looking at wonderful experts of architecture present here, and they are producing one book each year, even more. It's really amazing to have them. They're very wonderful presents for people that you like. So I believe after this conference we will have one more book on modernism, on architecture. I wish that you produce one, and I wish you great success, and for the visitors, enjoy Kaunas. Weather is becoming a little bit not so nice as it used to be, but still probably good enough to discover this really nice city. Thank you.